everybody says that when they look at that debt and they're like, oh, man, I wish I would have not gone to college. I got a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, something like that. Nothing against Enterprise Rent-A-Car. But
by the way, I'm very happy I went to college. I just don't like the debt. I had the time of my life.
But and that's the thing, is like the certain experiences that you get along the way while you're in college. Had you decided not to go to college and pursue the career that you're in right now, who knows? You could be here, you could be wherever. You could have been away from it altogether.
Did you take school serious? Do you think you took it somewhat serious?
No.
See, I didn't think so. I mean, and you got good grades. I'm not trying to go there. I took it semi-serious. I had a lot of fun. But by the time you got there, I was pretty much done with school.
I don't think I
So that was when I really had a lot of fun. But
took school all that serious.
I took it serious enough to where it stressed me out, and I couldn't wait to be done. I'm like, I can't wait to just be done with this and move on and have a career and not have to think about papers, not have to think about projects, not have to think about midterms, finals. I mean, just all that stuff I couldn't wait to get rid of. But trust me, I'd love to have that stuff back.
It's what the college experience is more than just the books and the academics.
I think if I went back to college now, it would kill me.
If I didn't go to college and I didn't have, I love, like, college friendships were Facebook friendships before Facebook friendships.
Yeah.
They weren't going to last a lifetime, but you know what? They were fun.
A lot of them were acquaintances, but maybe a little bit more than that, but not too much more than that.
You did a lot of life-changing things with them, and they kind of shape and mold you to what you are today. So it has a big part in that. If I would have just nose to the grindstone, tried to work my way up through the ranks, it wouldn't have been as fun, and I would not have been the person that I am today had I not gone to college. So for people on a regular basis to be answering this question saying, yeah, I could be doing the job that I was doing without going to college, I don't know if that's necessarily true, because you're only looking at it from a accomplishment standpoint. You're not looking at it from a standpoint of who the college experience made you. When I think the college experience is a very important experience, and all the friendships and the information I learned about stuff outside my field that have helped shaped my opinions in life in general are just as equally important as the ones that are within my field. And I believe that if I wasn't the person that I was out of college, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have got this job here, because maybe I wouldn't have been prepared or had the life experience to get a job here and do what I do. So for people to say, well, I could have done this without going to college, you don't necessarily know that all the way, because you have no idea what your college experience.
Yeah, I guess I'd say that because I was doing it when I started college or before college, or when I started college to, till now. So, but yeah, that's very true. I mean, it doesn't mean just because you did it at one point, you would have been successful in it. But you know what the thing is, and we were talking about this last week when we were talking about Coach's son, and you were telling me that he has an opportunity to go into the majors, and I was like, but man, that college experience when you're at that age,
yeah. And
your argument was, yeah, you know what, you can always go back to college, but I just think it's not going to be the same. Like when you're with everybody that's about this, and you and I were a little bit older, but it didn't matter. We acted like we were younger, I guess. But I don't know. It's like that time of your life, the 20s, and if there's somebody young listening right now, like, take advantage of it. Go to school, have a great time. You'll meet people, you'll make connections, you'll learn things that maybe they don't benefit you professionally, but they may benefit you in the way you live your life the rest of your life.
Here's the catch-22.
I get what you're saying.
It's easy for us to give that advice because we're dealing with tuition rates that were around at the turn of the century. That makes us sound old, doesn't it?
Yep.
But really, literally, I mean, that's when we were going to college. Now tuition rates are significantly higher.
Yeah.
And that student debt number that we highlight in the survey.
I just keep doing the minimum payment, hoping that Bernie Sanders is going to
so you're
come
voting
in
for Bernie,
and I'm going to be debt free.
You're voting for Bernie?
I could do 4 years of Bernie if he wipes out my student loan debt, which is still more than my truck's worth.
So he could buy your vote, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
The rest of the economy,
I don't think he can guarantee
the rest
anything.
of the economy could crash all around you, but as long as your student loans are written off,
we'll bounce back. We're resilient people.
Weren't you telling me the other day that, like, if you made less than $50,000 a year, which is,
I was reading a story
you couldn't afford to live here if you did that.
This is something they're working on. If your household income is less than $50,000, 50 or less than 50, then they will forgive your student loan debt.
Meaning,
it's gone.
It's gone. It's just
gone. I mean, billions of dollars in this country are still owed.
How long do you have to make? Can you imagine that? How long do you have to make the 50?
Yeah, it's not going to benefit me, and I didn't care, so I didn't go on. I was just like, I can't believe that they're doing this.
Because if you had a good relationship with your employer, and you got them to drop your salary enough for a year,
I don't know if they would do that. I mean, they wouldn't want to be on the hook for fraud. Federal.
Yeah. Like, why did you guys drop him down to $9,000 for 2019 and then back up to, I don't know, $55,000 in 2020?
Yeah, he went from 55 down to, that's pretty interesting.
But, I mean, it would almost be worth it to take a lesser job if you had enough student debt. I mean, this story that I saw on the news the other day was mind-blowing. I mean, you're talking about seniors, like people that are in their 70s that still have $40,000, $50,000 in debt, and they know that they're never going to be able to pay, because when you're in your 70s, you can't work a full-time job because you're physical
retirement.
Demands.
That's your retired
the physical demands of the full-time job, you just can't meet up with it, and you know that you're going to pass debt along to your loved ones.
Do you think you'll still have student loan debt in less than 7 years when you're 50 years old?
We are in an aggressive budget and payoff plan right now. I'm planning on not doing much for the next 7 years.
Yeah, that's the only thing I owe money on. We are, thank God, my wife's brilliant. We're debt free except for my student loans.
That's not true. You have a car payment.
Oh, well,
you have a boat payment.
Yeah, no, I don't have a boat payment. I paid that was cash.
You could have taken that money and thrown it to the student loan, but you're waiting for the Bernie Sanders bailout? What are you? Sucking off the government teat.
Hey, I'm talking. I've said too much.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.